This is the Tian Tan Buddha, better known as Hong Kong's Big Buddha for obvious reasons because it's properly big. In this video I'm going to show you how to get there and what else there is to see nearby. Assuming you are starting in Hong Kong, you should get on the metro, better known as the MTR, and ride the orange line all the way to Tung Chun at the end. Tung Chun is quite close to the airport and is on Lantau Island, so it's a fair distance. As you exit the metro, there are many shops and places to buy food and snacks. To reach the Buddha, you need to cross over the plaza from the metro and follow the signs to the Ngong Ping Cable Car, which can be found at the top of an escalator. There are usually guides around to point you in the right direction, so getting lost should be impossible. We had not pre-purchased tickets, so joined the queue to buy tickets on the day. As far as I could see, people who had already purchased tickets still had to go to a ticket window, so they also needed to queue. So I'm not sure what advantage there is to buying online before visiting, but it's probably a good idea if you visit at peak times. We visited early in the morning on a weekday. As we arrived, there wasn't much of a queue, but we got held up for a long time as they seemed to prioritise the big coach tour groups first, which meant we ended up queuing for nearly an hour. I can imagine on busy days it will be even worse, so make sure you plan enough time for this. Where you can save a little time is in the type of cable car you decide to ride in. There are normal ones, crystal cabins which have a glass floor, and crystal plus which are almost entirely glass. These are the prices of each when we visited. We chose the normal crystal cabin. It's a little more expensive, but after getting our tickets we then joined another queue to get on the cable car. The queue for the normal cabins was significantly longer, so by choosing these slightly more expensive ones we felt like we skipped ahead in the queue a little bit. Once in the cable car, it's a short 25-minute ride to the Big Buddha where you can get some incredible views of the surrounding landscapes. Once you disembark from the cable car, you will be in Ngong Ping Village, which isn't really a village and is more of a collection of shops to entice tourists to part with their money. It was a super hot day when we visited, so it was great to be able to stop and get a nice cold drink, so no complaints from me. As you walk through the village, you will not be able to miss the Big Buddha in the near distance, so you shouldn't have any trouble finding it so long as you are actually looking where you are going. After passing through the village, you will go through an old-style Chinese archway, which is a great place for photos. After this is the Ngong Ping Road with its fascinating collection of fearsome-looking statues. Depending on when you go, you may also encounter these chilled-out cows that seem to not care at all that there were so many people around and seemed happy to stand around to be patted and photographed. Next, you will reach the large circular Ngong Ping Piazza. From the middle, you can get great shots looking at the Buddha. The Big Buddha was completed in 1993 and is made up of 202 large bronze pieces on a large steel frame. It is 34 meters high and weighs 250 metric tons, so that's a proper big lad by any definition. The Buddha is free of charge, but you do need to climb up 268 steps to the top, which is quite exhausting on a hot, humid day, especially when you've got a heavy backpack full of photography gear like me. I've been 3 times over the years and it's always busy, so take your time and don't rush. The Buddha is seated on top of 3 circular platforms. On the lowest one are 6 more bronze statues, the 6 perfections of generosity, morality, patience, zeal, meditation and wisdom. They are dwarfed by the immense Buddha, however, which will be towering above you at this point and looking incredibly impressive. You can go inside the Buddha from the lower level and through a small exhibition and religious site, which I won't show you as photos were not allowed inside, but you should definitely pop in and have a look. You should also walk around the Buddha where you can get some stunning views over the amazing landscapes all around. From the top of the steps you can look down at the nearby Po Lin Monastery, which is where you should go next. The Po Lin Monastery was founded in 1906 by 3 monks visiting from the Jiangsu province on the Chinese mainland. Entry is free of charge and it's definitely worth looking around. It started as a small thatched hut but has expanded a lot and evolved over the years. There are 2 main temple buildings built in a traditional looking style, which look very cool with detailed carvings, stonework and roof tiles to admire. For a Westerner like me, they look very authentic and historic, although both were built in more recent times. The second hall contains a series of golden Buddhas, and overall this room is glittering with intricate details, carvings and statues. Even the roof beams are decorated, and overall it's an impressive room, so make sure you don't skip looking around the monastery after viewing the Buddha. As well as the impressive temple buildings, it also has 2 vegetarian restaurants, nice courtyards and gardens, and is overall a very serene and pleasant place to visit. Also nearby is the Wisdom Path, which can be reached by following the signs from the large circular plaza connecting the monastery and the Buddha. It's a short walk along pleasant wooded paths to the site, which contained 38 huge wooden columns, each carved with calligraphy of the complete verses of the Heart Sutra written by a renowned professor. The site is very pleasant to explore, even if you can't read the words. Rising in the background is the impressive Lantau Peak, which is the second highest peak in Hong Kong at 934 metres. We had planned to hike up it, but the day was so exceedingly hot and humid that we decided to save it for another trip. But it's a great option if you want to escape the hustle and bustles of the crowds around the Buddha. So if you've been up, let me know what it's like. Nearly everywhere we went on this trip there were big crowds, and people would be jostling for the best position to take amazing photos. So we were somewhat surprised to find there is an amazing viewpoint just above the village, which was almost deserted. And from here we got some great shots and views of the monastery and the Buddha. As you head back toward the cable car, look for the footpath that is almost directly underneath the cable cars. Follow it for about 10 minutes or so and you will reach the awesome viewing platform, which also seems like a fitting place to end this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you in another video, and cheerio!